let's talk about poverty. So how does it feel to wallow in poverty when you live a stone throw from the rich and the powerful? That is the story of resident of Apapa in Accra. JoyNews' Justice Baidu has spent some time inside one of the capital's oldest inner cities finding out.
I am currently driving through Labone, one of Ghana's most affluent neighborhoods. Here, some of the country's rich and powerful live or work. Plush high-rise buildings, hotels, schools and restaurants reserved for only those who have thousands of dollars to spend. Life is good here. Just 1 minute into my journey, Apapa, a suburb of La, a sprawling inner city community, one of the country's oldest and poorest too.
Lame nonu wolidi ke befe nu woje Israel na kanji boni bobani na awie si je se palo yi ke wo menu leji lasulo yi na to e ko menu wonu na kan wonu ole won kole na kan.
Like many communities in Ghana, La and Labone represent the widening gap of inequalities between the haves and the have-nots.
Young people say, "Ni beke bi ye ni ameje no ke beke bi ni ba." E fe tan wonu tumo be mam. Ne wo e balake bi ane amba hwe 419. Ona 419 ke di bi na ke claim mashka ni ameye emi beke bi ye on ba. Ebalaka no tumo be wo ka nu mene shale echele ekele ya na eda ngma ni yi.
Many young people here are trapped in a life of poverty. I've come here to meet some of them to find out about life here.
Jam bi antomo gbemi na me nani ni wo man bi wo nye wona ko won ya school won na kana won nye wona keke balaka wo ti o ka wo jam gben wa duwa mi. Ayaka ma atuwe machine ame na me yen again ni wa me ya no fi wo ni won na me agesan wo ya na kan si wo di na kan wo be san wo buta me fotura me ni wo duwa me wo jame jo ni balake man bi aduwo estate bi e ayake boni ejine etamo na kan ne kula wishake ena na kan e ka kwa mami we do je kwa bia we do mi ne ha wo man bia wo ba na kan estate bia ametomo gbe me.
Jobs aside, one of the biggest challenges here is sanitation. Like many inner cities, more than half of households in La do not have a toilet facility. And so hundreds of people here depend on this rundown public KVIP.
This is one of the biggest public toilet facilities in the La community. From the outside, it looks just like any other building. But come with me inside and have a look. So this is the facility that exists here. Hundreds of people enter this facility only to be able to ease themselves. Look at how it looks, how the fecal matter is almost overflowing from the pit. The stench in here sometimes could be heartbreaking.
So how do people here feel about living conditions?
About 3 years ago, we have a bitter record in La Polyclinic. The malaria killed about thousand over people in La. And the airport is our land.
Like the sharp difference between La and Labone, a fifth of the country's population currently controls more than half of the country's wealth, according to a 2014 UNICEF study. Sharp differences in areas like health, education, and infrastructure could undermine the country's progress and weaken social connections. Everybody is at risk. Justice Baidu, JoyNews.
You certainly could call that a masterpiece from Justice Baidu. I have in the studio with me Taylor Spadafora. She's with UNICEF, who is UNICEF, which is a major sponsor of government social intervention program, the LEAP. Let's have a very quick conversation. You good?
Yes.
Great to have you in our studio.
Me.
What are your impressions from? Let's start with the video that you just saw.
Yeah, I mean, first, I'm not that surprised, right? Ghana has made excellent progress in reducing poverty overall. However, inequality is growing, and essentially it's becoming almost two Ghanas. You have the rich who are benefiting from the economic growth, and then you have the poor that are being left behind.
Okay. In this regard, UNICEF has been sponsoring this LEAP program for some time now. Basically, what it does is to hand out cash to people who are extremely poor. I'm sure that UNICEF has done a bit of assessment over the years that you've supported the program. How is it going for you?
Well, first, I'll say we don't sponsor the program. We're a partner with government.
Okay.
LEAP is definitely a government initiative that they have started up and taken on. We provide technical support and some financial support to doing some research about the program, finding out what's working, what's not working, how it's achieving its intended objectives, and what it can do better to improve upon the program.
Okay.
Overall, the program has been doing very well. As you know, it started back in 2008, and since it's made a lot of progress in terms of improving its targeting, improving its management of the beneficiary information, and also just in general of the benefit levels, which have been revised twice now to increase for the cost of living that the poor are facing. 64
cities. This morning I've listened to some of the reports that we put out on radio. Some of them are saying that it's not enough. Some are asking that it's increased. Is that something that your research perhaps on the ground support?
Yes, actually we're looking into that. Currently the 64 CD is about 16% of the household consumption. Now that's definitely not enough to make a big difference in their lives. Globally, the information and the evidence shows us that to have a good impact, have a lasting impact, you need to be catering for at least 20% of individuals' consumption. So it definitely is time for an increase in the LEAP benefit. And this is definitely something that we've been discussing with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection on how they can go about doing that while still ensuring that the program is affordable for the government and therefore can be sustained.
Exactly what I was going to come to. I was going to get to the sustainability, because people have said that if you keep handing money to people directly, first of all, you make them lazy. They may need it genuinely, of course, but first of all, you make them lazy. So I've been speaking with the DW's political correspondent in Germany, and he spoke about how they deal with it. They're looking at providing them economic ventures, putting them in something, work, and creating kindergarten so that they can take their children to school and then the parents can work, because they believe that is a more sustainable approach. From what you have studied, with how LEAP is being implemented and the research that you've done on the ground, is this a sustainable approach, really?
Yes, it's an excellent question, and definitely some of the observations that you've put forth are quite common. That's a very common almost misperception of these kind of programs. All of the evidence, both within Ghana and abroad, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa, but also from other parts of the globe, show that this cash actually makes people more productive. They start investing in agricultural tools and inputs to make them more productive in their agriculture crops. They also start up small businesses, some petty trading. I met a woman up in the north who she took the LEAP money to buy a 1 kilogram bag of salt, and she started packaging that into smaller bags and then selling it at a profit. So it actually is opening up economic and income generating opportunities for the beneficiaries.
So it is sustainable. Let's see what Professor Peter Korte will say. Professor Peter Korte is a research fellow at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISA, at the University of Ghana. They've been looking a lot into LEAP. Sir, thank you very much for your time here on the show. Is this sustainable? That's the question we were just, talking about.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to your listeners and viewers. The LEAP program, as is being said, is one of the programs
if you can reposition, it will help us, because it appears that the line is breaking.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I think I can. Please go over what you said again.
Yes, I'm saying the LEAP program is one of the flagship programs, or one of the useful programs I have personally been involved in, is impact evaluation. And I can see the benefits are quite enormous. We once went to the central region, went to villages to assess the program. And it's amazing the kind of comments, first-hand information from beneficiaries. Your question about sustainability, yes, it's sustainable once government buys indeed what is able to budget for the expenditure involved in the LEAP program. You see, it's one such program that I don't know if things have changed recently, but it's much devoid of politics. The means testing approach was quite good. Beneficiaries, if you ask them, they will tell you it is computer that selects them. They believe it is the computer that selects them. It has no hands.
No human intervention.
Personal interventions, and we're quite amazed. There's no one person, two people. Most of them believed in the system, and I was quite amazed that in Ghana you can have a means testing approach that is credible, that people believed in. So it's one such program that I believe we could invest in, and it's certainly going to be a sustainable.
Speaking of investing in this program, and by your knowledge of the program so far, what would you say could be done by government at this point to improve it?
Well, government can set up maybe some percentage of import revenue.
Can you say that again? I missed that.
I said government can even set aside some percentage of import revenue.
Okay.
But something that regularly flows to the LEAP program. Because when you grow an economy, every economy and every market economy, when you grow, the rich become richer, the poor become poorer. So you have to find a way of redistributing income.
Okay.
And that can only be done through means testing. And this is one program that means testing has worked. And I therefore believe in trying to redistribute income, we have to take this LEAP program seriously and move it forward.
Okay. So setting aside import revenue should help. Is this something that ISA, for example, is putting, forwarding to government? Have you done that already?
In our report, we made some recommendations, but this is something I am personally proposing. That's one way out of the many suggestions that were put forward. Government can, from tax revenue or any other source, provide sustainable funding into the program. Donor funding is good, but we should not always rely on donors for such programs. We should own some of these programs and provide regular funding towards it.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned donor funding, because I have a representative of UNICEF right here in the studio, and they've also been supporting government with this. Let me find out from her. Are you going to keep supporting the program? I mean, and for how long? We know that donor funding is gradually being set back. Now they say we're a middle-income country, so a lot of the a few of the opportunities that we used to have as a lower-income country is, going off. For how long are you going to be supporting this program, UNICEF?
Yes, well, that's actually a very relevant point right now. Currently, government is supporting over 50% of the program costs. The other two major donors in the program are DFID and the World Bank. But I believe that government is in discussions with these two development partners to slowly phase back the donor support and increase the government support. I mean, for a program such as LEAP that's having such great impacts, that's so well targeted, reaching the poorest of the poor, those that are left behind, it's really not that expensive of a program. And I'm sure that government could find the fiscal space to not only sustain it for a long period of time, but also increase the coverage. Currently, it's only reaching 1 in 8 poor households. So there's definitely a ways to go to cover more people. Yes.
Wow, that's quite alarming. Is this? Does this resonate with your research result, Professor Quartey?
Which aspect exactly?
That so far only 1 out of 8 households are being reached with LEAP.
Yes, that is very true. not everybody qualifies for LEAP. LEAP is for the vulnerable, the students who cannot make ends meet. So 1 in 8 is a good number, but I believe it can be expanded to accommodate more people into the program, and also expand the amount involved. 4 CDs obviously is not enough, but it helps a lot.
Right. So expand it to how much? For example, today some of them were saying they would be good if it was, say, 200 cities. Is that something that you'd recommend?
Well, again, I think we need to ascertain how much will make them fairly comfortable and what government can accommodate. 200, yes, 200 will be a fairly decent amount to pay. Because if you take, yesterday I was listening to some of the beneficiaries who said they spend like 50 cities on utilities. If you pay 54 cities and 50 goes into utilities, then how much will be left for their upkeep? So 200 will certainly be a fairly decent amount to help them move out of poverty.
Right, fairly decent amount. Sir, thank you so much for your time here on the show. Professor Peter Quartey, there he is a research fellow at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research. Let me wrap up with you here, Taylor, Miss Taylor, right? Yes. Okay, so is this something, this is obviously something that you're looking to, that you think that if government should do would help, for example, increasing the amount that it goes to. Have you also detected in the course of your research any possible diversions going on there in terms of the distribution of the money to the beneficiaries?
No, actually we have not. No. We find that it's very well implemented. And as I said, government continues to make improvements on the program. So recently they've shifted from manual payment delivery to utilizing the eSwitch platform, using smart cards with the fingerprint biometric identification through the GIPS company.
Yeah.
You've heard of them? Sorry.
The GIPS platform.
The GIPS platform, yes. Yeah. And UNICEF is actually currently supporting GIPS and the government to review that transition, the e-payments.
And it's working.
Well, we'll have those results out soon. It's definitely working. I'm sure there's always room for improvement, but it's very great the government's keen to and open to keep making improvements on the program.
Okay, hopefully we'll make life a little bit easier for the folks who are, like she's saying, left behind. And this is for the poor of the poorest. Right. Thank you very much for passing through. Taylor Spadafura. What does your name mean, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm from the U.S., but it's Italian, so unfortunately I don't speak Italian.
Spadafura. Okay, so she's a social policy specialist with UNICEF, and they've been supporting LEAP. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.